Hello and welcome. There's a very simple way of solving this radical equation for real values of x. The first step is to square both sides of the equation to get rid of this square root on the right hand side. But before we start solving, you know that this square root must always be positive. That means that this function on the left hand side must always be positive. And we have that the range of values of x for which this function will always be positive is minus half, less than x, less than or equal to 0. Now, if you are interested in finding out how we got this, I will explain after solving this equation. Now, back to the equation. When we square the left-hand side, we have minus x squared, which is equal to x squared. And this is divided by 2x plus 1 squared. And of course, when we square the right-hand side, the square is going to take care of this square root, leaving us with 4x squared plus 4x plus 6 divided by x squared plus 5. Now, to get rid of these two fractions on both sides of the equation, we cross multiply. When we do that, we have that this times that is 2x plus 1 squared times 4x squared plus 4x plus 6 is equal to this times that is x squared times x squared plus 5. Now let us look at this quadratic expression. Of course, you know that 6 is 5 plus 1. So we can write this as 2x plus 1 squared times 4x squared plus 4x plus 1 plus 5. And of course, this is equal to x squared times x squared plus 5. Now, let us look at the expression 4x squared plus 4x plus 1. We can factorize it. Since the coefficient of x squared is not 1, let us use the table method. Now, what are the factors of 4x squared? We have 2x and 2x. What are the factors of 1? Of course, 1 and 1. Now, when you multiply 2x by 1, you get 2x. When you multiply 2x by 1, you get 2x. And of course, 2x plus 2x is going to give us 4x. Now, with this factorization, we can write this equation as 2x plus 1 squared multiplied by 2x plus 1 times 2x plus 1, which is equal to 2x plus 1 squared. And then we have plus 5. Now, this is still equal to x squared times x squared plus 5. Now, when we look at the left-hand side of this equation, you will see that we need a substitution. So, let 2x plus 1 be equal to the letter d. With this substitution, we can now write this equation as d squared times d squared plus 5 is equal to x squared times x squared plus 5. Now, opening this bracket, we have d to the power 4. 2 plus 2 is equal to 4 plus 5d squared. And opening this bracket, we have x squared times x squared. That is x to the power 4 plus 5x squared. Now, moving these two terms over to the left-hand side, we have d to the power 4 minus x to the power 4 plus 5d squared minus 5x squared is equal to 0. Now, let us try and factorize this left-hand side. Notice that here we have the difference of two squares. We can factorize this as d squared minus x squared multiplied by d squared plus x squared. Now, when you look at these two terms, you will see a common factor, which is 5. So we have plus 5 into 5d squared divided by 5 is going to give us d squared. And of course, minus 5x squared divided by 5 is going to give us x squared. And this is equal to 0. Now, when you look at these two terms, you'll also see a common factor, which is d squared minus x squared. So we can still factorize. We have d squared minus x squared into, when you divide this by d squared minus x squared, you are left with d squared plus x squared. And when you divide this by d squared minus x squared, you are left with plus 5. And of course, this is equal to 0. Now, remember that when the product of two items is equal to 0, it simply means that either d squared minus x squared is equal to 0, or d squared plus x squared plus 5 is equal to 0. Once more, we have the difference of two squares. So factorizing this, we have d plus x multiplied by d minus x, and this is equal to 0. Now let us look at this. Of course, you know that d squared must be a positive number, x squared must be a positive number, and 5 is a positive number. Now this equation is telling us that the sum of 3 positive numbers is equal to 0. Now you know that this is impossible for real numbers. So this condition is useless when solving this equation for real values of x. Now back to this. Once more, we have the product of two items being equal to 0. And of course, from here, we have that either d plus x is equal to 0, or d minus x is equal to 0. Now, let us remember that d is 2x plus 1. So, in this case, we have that 2x plus 1 plus x is equal to 0. While in this case, we have that 2x plus 1 minus x is equal to 0. 2x plus x is equal to 3x plus 1. This is equal to 0. Now, 3x is equal to minus 1, and x is equal to minus 1 over 3. 2x minus x is equal to x plus 1. This is equal to 0. From here, x is equal to minus 1. We have two values of x, minus 1 and minus 1 over 3. Now we go back to this condition. Minus 1 over 3 is greater than minus 1 over 2. So this value of x satisfies this equation. Minus 1 is less than minus half. So this value of x does not satisfy this equation. So the only value of x that satisfies this radical equation is x equal to minus 1 over 3. Now, back to this condition. We have that minus x over 2x plus 1 must be greater than or equal to 0. Now let us calculate the critical points. From the numerator, we have that x is equal to 0. From the denominator, we have that 2x plus 1 is equal to 0. 2x is equal to minus 1. And of course, from here, we have that x is equal to minus 1 over 2. Now, these two critical points divide the x-axis into 3 regions. If we have this is the x-axis. We have the point x equal to 0. and we have the point x equal to minus 1 over 2. Now, what we are going to do is that we will choose 3 arbitrary x values from each one of these 3 regions. Let this be region A, let this be region B, and let this be region C. Then when we choose an arbitrary value, we test it in this inequality to see if the value of x satisfies this inequality. Now, for instance, here, let us choose x equal to 1. Here, let us choose x equal to minus 1 over 4. And here, in this region, let us choose x equal to minus 1. Now, let us start with this region. When x is minus 1, substituting into this inequality, we have minus 1 divided by 2 times minus 1 plus 1. Now, this is equal to minus is plus. 2 times minus 1 is minus 2. Then we have plus 1. This is 1 over minus 2 plus 1, of course, is minus 1. This is minus 1. You can see that this is negative. So that means that values of x that lie in region A do not satisfy this inequality. Now, when x is equal to minus 1 over 4, substituting into this inequality, we have minus 1 over 4 divided by 2 times minus 1 over 4 plus 1. Minus is plus, so we have 1 over 4 divided by 2 times minus 1 over 4 is minus half. Of course, 2 into itself is 1 and into 4, 2. So this is minus half. Then plus 1. So this is equal to 1 over 4 divided by 1 minus half, of course, is half. Now you can see that this is positive. So that means that values of x that lie within region B satisfy this inequality. And lastly, when x is equal to 1, substituting into this inequality, we have minus 1 over 2 times 1 plus 1. Now this is minus 1 over 2 times 1 is 2 plus 1, 3. You can see that this is negative. That means that values of x that lie within this region do not satisfy this inequality. And finally, for any x to satisfy this inequality, it must be greater than minus half and less than or equal to 0. Combining these two inequalities, we have minus half less than x, less than or equal to 0, which is exactly what we have here. And with that, we come to the end of this tutorial. I hope you learned something new. If you enjoy such content, please subscribe to the channel. Leave us a thumbs up to support the channel. Thanks for watching, and you can see more videos here.